Welcome, 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 welcome. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever I'm reaching you in the world. Welcome to the Liverpool 12th Man Show. I'm Liverpool 12th Man. And today we're just going to have another Tuesday Talks. This is where we get to interject our own thoughts with each other and communicate how we feel about this or about that, about the topics I'll bring up. I think I have some very interesting topics to bring up, to say the least, because we are going into a Europa game, and we also are going into a very, very big game that could be a pivotal game. So that's a little bit of a mouthful there. And I really wanted to know what you guys thought about this stuff. I really enjoy interacting, I should say, with you guys, and I appreciate your opinions. And and I like to kind of formulate what it is the kind of the pulse of what's going on out there. So I'd like to say big up to Honesty, big up to Dustin, Lee, Jared in the house. Appreciate you guys. You guys are always the best. Mighty Red's Army is undefeated as always. Oh man. And we should be joined by a couple of guests as well. I think some of the guests are currently indisposed, but they will be joining us hopefully pretty soon here. And about everything. So big up, Alexander. Big up. Big up, Brian. Big up, Brian. And Brian, you should. Tell me if you didn't get the link. I sent your link to Twitter. I understand if you're unavailable. But all the same. There's a bunch of stuff I wanted to get into today. I got a couple of different questions that I wanted to pose to you guys a little bit. Here, let me double check too as well. Let me make sure I can send this to him. No worries, Brian. I'm going to send it again to you. 1 second. Sorry about this, people. Want to make sure I can get our guests on as well and join the conversation. But yeah, so I guess you know what I'll do is, before I get into my very first topic, because the first topic is something I definitely think everyone's going to have a warranted opinion about and the such. I wanted to ask a question that wasn't on the list of things that I had for my normal list of things I was going to go with my guests. But what I wanted to say is, I was just listening to a combined 11, and it was an interesting combined 11 of City and Liverpool. And what was so interesting that really stuck out to me is when we got to the DM role. Now, there's some of the people that might want to throw an Endo into that list right now at the moment, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get too crazy with this. But what I was going to say is, there was this list that went out, or a DM, the DM position went out for the starting 11, and what was very interesting is, hands down, it was between Rodri and Fabinho. And I thought that what was very, very interesting about the two was I think Rodri's an amazing player, incredible player, if not the best DM in the world at the current moment. And I'm sure some of us would make a strong shot for Endo competing for that title. But big up Cedric, by the way. Big up Cedric. But what I didn't agree with is the fact that they said Rodri, hands down, was better than Fabinho. Now, I know we can get all these little different nuances of where and who we believe should be, what statistics to bring in, or what possibly even what year. I want to ask you, at the top of their arc, the best year that they had. Okay, and I get that Rodri's still playing, so is Fabinho technically, but Fabinho is definitely on more of a downward slope of his career. But at the best year, who would you take in the sense of Rodri versus Fabinho. If you're making a combined 11 or something like that, you're getting all these players and you had to pick your DM, would you say Rodri or would you say Fabinho? We're going to do I'm sure we'll probably do a combined 11. I think that this probably would have been one of the bigger topics that I would have talked about, and it would have went on and on and on for such a long time. So I figured I'd get a little bit of it done right now before we had that combined 11. But I'd like to know what you guys think, because I honestly think that it's not there. Okay. Brian, I just said it too. I'll send it again. All right, I just sent it to you, Brian. Yeah, I personally think that Fabinho was regarded as the world's best for multiple years, and I think that I get that Rodri is reached that pinnacle currently in his career, but is Rodri clear of Fabinho as being the person that gets that combined 11 DM role? I want to see what you guys have to say. All right, so let's see what we have to say here. Let me see. See if you guys got some big ups. Dustin says Fabinho, easy. Okay. And I'm gonna bring Brian into. I'm gonna bring Brian as soon as Brian logs in. I'm gonna bring Brian in as well. And I believe we might have one other guest as well joining us as well. Big up to Cedric, like I said earlier. I'm gonna star some of these comments so I can come back to them. Let's see. Alexander says that that's some strong recency bias. I think so too, Alexander. I think so too. I don't understand why. And I will admit that the three people that were rating the players were a Manchester United fan, a Chelsea fan, and a Manchester City fan. So there weren't any Liverpool representations on there. So I'm gonna bring Brian into this conversation too, real quick. Hey, Brian, how are you doing?
Good evening. Hello. How's everyone doing?
I'm doing well. Hopefully, the chat is doing well too. We just got into this one little quick question that I had on. I didn't put it on the show itinerary technically, but it was something that I wanted to break down and get out there since you guys hadn't joined us yet. I was figuring I'd do that too. I'm gonna bring JK in as well, real quick. JK, how are you doing, brother?
All good, bro. All good. I hope you're well, guys. Brian.
Oh yes, excellent. Always excellent. Always a good time. Always good when I'm surrounded by my brethren here, my Reds, the Mighty Reds Army here. We're just talking about real quick. I'm gonna bring up some of the other comments too about it. And yes, is it an all-time Premier League 11? No, it's not all-time Premier League 11. It was a combined 11, by the way, to Dustin. That's the question. The question was, in a combined 11, does Fabinho get in or does Rodri get in at the DM role? And because I'm going to do a combined 11, I'm sure, for some episode before the big game. But I really wanted, when I came across this question, because there's another position as well.
You mean Endo?
But Fabinho or Rodri? Both are world class players. Both have reached the pinnacle of their positions. Who gets into that role?
I'm going.
Brian, you have a suggestion, or JK? You want to hop on this one? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go straight with Rodri, bro.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. For me, the best DM in the world.
Okay. Alexander says Fabinho. Dustin said Fabinho. I'm trying to think who else said. Fabinho, and Reels and Jared says Fabinho very good, but for him not world class. Honesty said Fabinho, in my opinion, because you have to work harder in our system. Because with City, he got Stones next to him, and they definitely and defensively more as a collective. compared to us when Fab he was a one-man army. That's so true.
True.
Yes,
I
Michael.
would.
Michael, that was the video that I was like referencing the three individuals. I didn't want to give them any props or any name drops, but yes, Michael. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, yeah, it's a combined 11. Then did you mean Endo? Like combined from the current 11?
No,
Or is it just all
not from the current 11. They were doing a combined, like an all-time combined 11
Premier League type?
for Klopp versus Pep. They were doing
Oh,
Klopp versus
Klopp, Pep.
combined
I
11,
get it.
and they were doing it where when
You
they were
know,
going through the positions, when they came to the DM role, they said all three of them said I believe said Rodri, hands down,
yeah,
pretty much.
yeah. No, I was just a bit confused. I get it now. It's a Pep Klopp thing. That's fine. So it's from all of those guys. But well, the first thing, I don't know if somebody said there that he didn't have as much something about Fabinho not having to do more work because Stones was there with Rodri. Well, Stones is injured most of the time. Central defender that steps in sometimes, and that comment kind of just happened to leave out the fact that Fabinho played with two of the hardest working players in world football, Milner and Henderson, and
Right.
Like he had other players helping him. Like he wasn't a one-man army. That's just not true.
Virgil behind him. Yep.
I mean, he wasn't doing all the work. Like we literally complained about how we just had a workhorse midfield, but now he's the only one doing all the work. No, I'm not going to give that one a pass. But if you're Jesus, yeah, like Rodri is world class.
Yeah, I know.
Rodri is world class. Fabinho at his best. That's a bit of a coin toss, that one.
It is. I could go as far as that.
Yeah, I couldn't argue either. I couldn't say anything stupid for picking either the other. But we're a Liverpool fans, so when we get to do these, we pick our side. So we go with Fabinho.
Yeah.
But there's nothing peak Rodri, peak Fabinho. Yeah, Rodri's probably a little bit better on the ball, but Fabinho, yeah, maybe. There's very little. And I know JK says Rodri, and I wouldn't fight him over it at all. Not at all.
A lot of the I get that we are Reds and a lot, or at least the majority of the Mighty Red Army actually that's in the chat right now are Red supporters. So like I get that, we could somewhat have a bias as everyone would expect, but it was just so interesting because I just thought that like they were just making a point of saying how Fabinho it's not even a contest. And that's why I was like, not even a contest. I'm like,
were they ex-players or YouTube?
No, these are just YouTube content creators.
Yeah.
But they're definitely more the prominent YouTube content creators as well.
It's just because I was going to say that.
I think it was Michael gave the shout as to what the actual show was. I don't want to necessarily like give him too much of a props or too much of a shout because like some of the things some of their shows I can watch. It's kind of like for me, it's kind of like you got to do the op style of watching other channels, despite the fact you don't necessarily agree with anything they have to say for the most part. You still want to hear what they're talking about. But it's going to be interesting.
If it was ex-footballers, I kind of expected a bit because he's a bit of a footballer's footballer. He's one of those players that ex-footballers love. Oh, he's brilliant. He does this. Look at this. Look at that. He does all this. He is a bit of a player's player. Mm-hmm. But these YouTube guys, people on YouTube don't know anything about football.
Okay, well, we're part of that, so that's why. Yeah, I got you. Let's see. I'll bring in some of these some of the Mighty Res Army here, what they have to say. Because Michael, they do hate on LFC a lot. I mean, the three individuals, two more than the three, but definitely two of them hate on them a lot. Let's see. I'll bring up this comment here by Michael. He says Fabinho was the main DM. for a team that was 3-time UCL finalist, 3 times over 90 points, and lost out only because of 1 point. This is that is world class, I think he's saying.
Roger's got a good record too.
Roger's got a good record too. I know that. I know. I don't know. Some of those, yeah. Dustin says, unless from media hype, I don't get the Rodri thing. Alexander says Rodri is good but crazy like Fabinho or Fernandinho. Fernandinho, excuse me. And Honesty says there is a Fabinho. There is a Fabinho was done after a couple of years. We complained about Klopp putting a lot of pressure on Fabinho, and Henderson did more coverage for Trent than helping Fabinho out. Okay. And then Realism Jared says Hendo and Ginny worked their ass off in that midfield covering. Can't say Fab did it on his own. When our mid's legs went, you could see the gapping hole, pause, in their last season. Okay.
And when Rodri was out for 3 games, they lost 3 games.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, Brian. I was just about to say, let's just look at the teams when Rodri was missing and when Fabinho was missing. When Man City have got no Rodri, they look beatable. When he's in the team, no.
But I just think Prime, and this is exactly what Lee Wizkids is saying. Lee Wizkids says Prime Fabinho was better. He was more disciplined for starts, and he provided more. I understand. I understand what you're saying with that. Manchester City kind of rises or falls with Rodri not being a part of the team, because how we saw City, flutter a little bit once he wasn't a part of the team. That's when they were losing, if any time. But I just think that our midfield was the engine of our team. It wasn't necessarily the highlighted portion of our team in the sense of got the headlines, but
they call the engine room for a reason.
It's kind of, I was just gonna say, without Ginny, for instance, without like Ginny gets so much praise as being such an integral part of our team, for instance, but yet I don't know if especially on that other show, he didn't get a mention when it came to the left mid, for instance, and albeit that's because there's some great midfielders that play for City in that role, but it wasn't even a mention of how integral and how much of an important part of our success that actual individual was. And I think Fabinho was a very big part of the reason why we were very successful during that era that he held the DM role down.
The other day, 12, when I think it was pre-Man United Man City game, and I think it was this guys who had a discussion about injuries and red cards, and who would wish out of that game who would get it for next week, Rodri was the first guy in my head, not Haaland, not even Foden, actually. It was Rodri. I said, if he gets a red card, I hope it's him. So I just feel that they look a better, stronger team when he's playing.
Okay. Well, then
you see, that's why it's such a coin toss, because everything you say that Fabinho did, contributed to, Rodri's done exactly the same.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's kind of, look, I think Rodri is more of a Guardiola type DM, more of a controller, more of a 600 passes a game type player, whereas Fabinho is a slightly different type of, he's breaking up the play a little bit more aggressively, covers more ground. But I think Rodri is a pure Pep Guardiola DM. He really is. Look, if someone like him wants to put that much trust in him, build his team around him, then he's obviously, but he's also a prick. So we can't, and we love Fabinho. Like Rodri is the king of the little trick and the little tap and the little pull back, the little tactical foul. He's the king of that. Like Fabinho was one of the best in the world at getting yellow carded early, and then just walking
being able to maintain it.
Yeah, he was one of the best at that. But Rodri can always, Rodri can do it as well, and he's cheeky. But that team is almost built around him, built around a couple of. But what Pep is like? He's obsessed with his midfield.
Right.
So you've got to be the main man to get in there, and he just passes the ball constantly. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's just what you like. What's your pick your poison? Do you want a Fabinho or do you want a Rodri?
Yeah, it's
But
true.
Rodri, you're never going to get a Rodri highlights reel, you know. But
Right,
again,
right.
yeah, you know, it's just he's that type of player. But you know, cool. If we had him, we'd love him. Tell you that much.
Big
Oh
time.
yeah, absolutely.
Big time.
We'd be
Love
we'd be over the moon to have Roger
Actually, I've
at this
got a question
moment.
for you guys. You
Okay.
can pick one player from their team for Sunday. Who are you going to pick to be in our first 11?
Just for the game,
Just for the
not
game.
home. Okay.
There's two guys for me.
It's
Probably.
that's an easy one. If anything, for me, I would say I would most likely say, and this is no slight to our current player in that role. Okay,
No.
I think I know who you're going
but
for.
I would say Ederson because I think that their goalkeeping
Okay.
dips
I quit.
significantly.
I quit right now. I quit the 12-man show in protest.
I was waiting for that.
I'm quitting. I'm quitting.
This is
Can
why
I
I
set
said
my
it. This is why I
emoji
said
on
that.
fire? Can I set the studio on fire or something back and walk out? This is
I would never
shocking.
go that one. I think
Well,
Kelleher's
because
after the
see, no,
game.
okay, listen to my reasoning. The only reason why I'm saying that is because I'm not even saying I would start Ederson. Maybe I put him as my second back, as my backup.
Well,
But
why
the
would you
reason
bring
why
him
I'm
in
saying
then?
is if we take that player off of their team, I
No,
think
no, that's not what he means. No.
that's
He
what
means
I
to
was
improve.
interpreting as. Okay.
Oh, okay. No. You mean to
Okay,
improve
that's how I
on.
was looking at it. Like, as in, the biggest drop off for them would be, I know people already said Rodri is a big reason why they do so well, but for me, I think if you took Ederson out of their team, then you could probably I don't think that their backup goalkeeper is going to hold their team up the way Kelleher holds our team up. That's why I was saying it that way.
True as well.
Well, then you can just take Haaland and put him on a bench. But if we're going to play it the way, you know, not that way, but like to
Right.
improve
Go
our
ahead.
team,
Tell me how you're looking at it.
I go. Well, I think that's what you meant, JK, wasn't it? Like which of their team would I want starting for us to improve?
Yeah, for Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, not the weekend then. Yeah.
Yeah, not forever, just for that one game. I think.
Yeah, I'll pick KDB. The pick KDB for me.
Yeah.
I think that's
Okay.
that's what I'd go with.
There's only two guys for me, either Rodri or Foden. Because Foden at the moment is guy's on fire, you know.
He's an unbelievable form.
Really,
For me, the best England midfielder. I'd even pick him before Bellingham. That's how crazy. I think he's a real top player. Him in the Liverpool team.
That's this thing. Like
KJ
says Ortega isn't a drop off for City. Ask their fans. They're happy about him, like we're happy about Kelleher as our backup. I can understand your point. You know, I just don't think that I would be considering what we've seen. I didn't call this recency bias, but then again, we've seen a good deal of Kelleher's levels and his work. I just think that there's the biggest drop off in position from starter to backup role player is their goalkeeper, in my opinion. So, but I could be wrong.
I actually agree, sort of understand you as well, 12th. It's true. When Edison's in goal, I just feel that they look better as well. So you got him, you got Rodri, and say Foden, Haaland as well.
They're able to do more of the things that they normally do with Ederson in goal, as opposed to Ortega. Yeah, that's how I look at it. So that's the reason why I was giving my opinion. I wasn't giving it because this player is someone that I covet or some player that I want to have on our team. I was just looking at it. What's the most?
No one's going to come at you. No one's going to come at you if you just say Haaland for one game. It's just for one game. Like, what one player to improve us for one game? I'm just saying, throw in KDB. Throw in KDB. So who cares? We're not selling anybody. It's not real life. So we just.
It's mad though. None of us picked Haaland. None of us.
Yeah. It's just because I just think KDB would, like, Haaland in the team would be in the team. He'd probably be great, but KDB would kind of potentially, like, Haaland would just do Haaland things, whereas KDB could open up our fullbacks. He can create for everybody. He wouldn't just be, it wouldn't just be Haaland. So I think KDB in our midfield with the forward players that we have, his passes, like he could be assisting any of our players. But yeah, like Haaland, obviously.
Right.
KDB was in the Anfield Cups, the Chats team, wasn't he? KDB, or was it Foden? I think they had Foden. Yeah, the Chat.
No, I had.
I
had him.
You had KDB,
yeah. The
this
Chat
is
had
a question.
Foden. I had
This is a
KDB.
question here. I mean, I think it's kind of, we're going to have some recency bias. I understand that. I think that we still have to see a full year out of Dom before we could probably even gauge this question completely. But the question was from High Lord, do you think Foden is better than Szoboszlai?
Don't really think he's the same. He's different. He's different. I don't know what you think.
If I had to pick one, for example, if I wanted in my team, I'd go for Foden. Personally.
I mean, they're both versatile. I mean, we know that Szoboszlai can't. We just haven't really only utilized them in that role once, but we know that Szoboszlai can play up front. And obviously, a lot of us have been. Me personally, I've been looking to see if I wanted to see him, fit into that role of right winger for us or right inside forward while Mo was gone. But unfortunately, he was injured during that run. But we've seen him on the left side in the cup game. So we can, he can play up front. We know that Foden can play in the midfield as well. Obviously we know that Szoboszlai can play in the midfield because that's his more, preferred position for us at least. It's an interesting question.
Right now he's in better form. We haven't seen the best of Szoboszlai, but nobody can deny Foden is probably the form player. Ollie Watkins, he's probably the form player in the Premier League right now. He's starting every game. This is I don't want to bring it back to fantasy football again, but back in the day, it didn't matter what Foden was doing. You could never pick him in fantasy football because he'd play 2 games, then he'd be dropped for 2 games, on the bench. Then he'd start the game, then he'd be dropped the game, and so on and so forth. And he'd score a couple of goals, and you think, oh, he can't be dropped now. He's just after being brilliant. Next game, he'd be on the bench. That's what Pep was doing with him. Whereas this season, you can. I have him in everyone has him in their team now at the moment because he plays every game. He plays 90 minutes. And this is the first time that's ever happened for him. He's never been it's okay, we can actually sit here. And everyone knows they call it Pep Roulette. In fantasy football, they call it Pep Roulette. You don't know which player is going to be dropped every week, apart from a KDB or a Haaland or whatever. But it's okay, no, he's not doing that anymore. This guy is nailed on in this team. So it's been a big step up for Foden this year, what he's normally doing. And Pep has played it right. And I wouldn't be surprised, actually. I think they're probably about the same age. But Szoboszlai's only been here for a while. But different players doing different roles, but Szoboszlai can do Foden type things when he plays with Hungary and stuff. When he plays
exactly.
We just haven't seen that back there yet.
We just haven't seen it.
Right now, Foden. Right now, he's flying.
Yeah, I think I agree with Dustin's comment there about he couldn't probably do that for Hungary, but see, Foden, he's like a cherry on the top sort of player. Where Szoboszlai is more. We've only seen the defensive side of Szoboszlai. We haven't seen really his attacking side, and that's going to come one day. So I'm looking forward to that.
We've only seen it. I think Fulham was one of the few opportunities that we saw him actually, being more aggressive and taking more of an offensive mindset. But I agree, and this is what I said earlier too with Michael, in that he said you can't really judge Szoboszlai this season. He's been injured a third of the season, new country, new system. I would say let's give him a good run of games in this team. Let's give him a full season somewhat before I would say, let's start to make these judgments. I really wanted to get into the big topic, which is the topic that I really wanted to discuss with you guys, with the guests and at the chat too. I want your opinions on this, and it's a question that I really thought could be interesting. despite, the fact that, yes, let's take each game one by one, I wanted to ask you, does the next 3 games for Liverpool, Manchester City, and Arsenal determine the title race? Do the next 3 games determine the title race in the sense of, will they be the ultimate determination of the season? And the reason why I'm saying that's because Liverpool at 63 points plays obviously City, and this is all just Premier League games, obviously, but Manchester City in match week 28, then match week 30 we play Brighton, and then match week 31 we play Sheffield United. Then City, and they're all home games too. And then we play Manchester City plays at 62 points, plays obviously us, and then they play Arsenal, and then they play Villa. And Arsenal and Villa are both home games for City. And then Arsenal play Brentford, at Man City, and Luton. All three pretty decent games for each club. Brian, in your opinion, could this determine the fate of these 3 teams? This next 3 games.
Yeah, just no. Look, I think we asked this question two games ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, no, it's does it determine? Well, if Man City get 9 points and we get 0 points, then yeah, it probably will determine the league. It will. That's the only way to look at it, is, but only to evaluate it after every game, because you can't count on points in the future. You can't point on games in the future, because it's hard enough to predict your own game rather than trying to predict. So that's 3 games for us. So that's trying to predict 9 games. It's pretty much impossible. But it looks like it looks like Arsenal are in very good form. I mean, you just have to basically match what your rivals are doing every single week. And if you fall behind, could be like, we won't know. Like, if we lose, like I said, if we look back and we lose a load of points in this short period, and we don't win the game, or we don't win the league, then we can look back and go, yeah, maybe that was there. But you just kind of have to go into it looking at just win the next game.
Certainly.
And see where it is, because. But we are getting to that point. I think I understand the reason. We are getting to that point of a season. We are getting to that kind of, you can start picking dates and results and numbers and stuff. But it is getting to that point in the season where someone will just potentially edge ahead. We could all end up on the same point. We could, we could draw with City, and we could, in 3 games, we could all still be in the same position. But it is getting to that kind of make or break point of the season, pretty soon. If not quite now, but pretty soon. Whoever does win will probably come from something that happens in a run of games out of the next 3, 4, 5 games.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel for us this is the perfect scenario where we beat them on Sunday against City, and then Arsenal City draw, and then Villa either beat them or draw against City. So for me, that's the way we need to look at that one. Main thing first is us beating them on Sunday. And Brian, what you were saying, Arsenal all of a sudden they just sprung up like a spring chicken, just like. I'm just surprised with it, and they're knocking in 5-6 goals a game now, and their goal difference is better than ours now. So maybe
because you have to think of it as also
a point.
There's going to be, because, and this is why I said this is why these next 3 games again is interesting for me, in that we play City plays Arsenal, so all 3 teams are having head-to-head battles between each other, whereas in whether they get a win, whether they get draws, whether they end up being the team that gets the loss, it's going to impact that title race. Obviously we want to win all 3 of our games, and we could possibly, because if anything, let's say hypothetically, the best result for us, for instance, would be City to get a draw with Arsenal and obviously lose against us, because then we'll put significant space between us and City, and then we'll also put some space between us and Arsenal, who is albeit they are further back from us, but still all the same, we would still be able to put some further space between us. So that's why I'm saying these next 3 games are very pivotal. Like where would you see, and I'm going to ask this, hopefully I put it in the chat, where in this for Liverpool, just give me for Liverpool, for City and Arsenal, what game do you see as being the slip up game, and what would be the result in that slip up game that you see for each of those teams?
I just feel that if City batter Arsenal in that game, for some reason I just got a funny feeling that City are going to beat them 3-4, 5-0. I don't know why, but I just feel that. So when that happens, and if it happens, I feel Arsenal will sort of trail off then. Maybe even like they'll be dropping points in that game. I just feel can you see Arsenal going to the City ground and winning? On the form they're in at the moment, yeah, you could. But I just
because Arsenal is on exceptional form right now.
Yeah,
but they do have to go to the Etihad to win, and that's a very difficult place to win at. Very difficult place to win.
We got a draw there, so we never lost to them. So Sunday is very important. Sunday, I think, like they say, is it the title decider? It sort of is, in a weird sort of way. It sort of is, but there's a lot of games after it, of course. But for me, we have to get them 3 points. And we need Arsenal and City to get a draw. That, for me, is the perfect scenario right there.
Yeah, because Angel is saying we need 4 points at least from Brighton and City. I guess he's somewhat looking past that Sheffield United, considering how they're bottom of the league, shouldn't be that much of a competitive game for us to go into. Okay, 4 points, because that's also considering, Arsenal or City get some type of result, a poor result for themselves. Brian, do you have an opinion on that?
Who could we slip up against in the next few games? Kind of thing.
Who could Liverpool, who could City, and who could Arsenal slip up against? Because Brentford's a shout too. I mean, like, I get it that they have Brentford at home, but I mean, they could do what a lot of teams do sometimes, and that is look past the game in front of them and look too far into the future, in the sense of maybe they don't really focus in on Brentford. They just look at, we've got to go to Etihad, how big of a game that is, how big of a game it is, and they don't focus in on that game at hand.
Well, you've got us, like you were saying there earlier on, that everyone's playing everybody kind of thing. So City are playing Arsenal and City are playing Aston Villa. This is up to the 33. Aston Villa or Brighton are playing Arsenal and Brighton are playing us. So Brighton and Aston Villa could have a big say in it. Aston Villa is a big team that any of those teams could slip up against. I don't see us.
City has Villa at home.
Yeah, City. You have to back them to beat everybody at home. So picking, like, they played Crystal Palace and they lost twice against them last season, and I think they got a draw against them this year or something. They might slip up somewhere, but I can't pick one. I can't see an obvious one apart from like maybe a 2-2 at home with Arsenal, and maybe Arsenal getting done by Villa, maybe. But looking at the form, but especially looking at Arsenal's form at the moment, it's kind of silly to back them not to beat anybody. But obviously the City away one. We're playing Brighton at home with Brighton. Brighton are like.
Right.
They decide.
I'll bring this up too for you. I'll bring up the so you can visually see it. I'll bring it up for you if you like. So here is what we're looking at. You can see that, correct? And tell me in the chat. Hopefully that's big enough. It's a big enough graphic for you. If you need to make it bigger, I can make it bigger for you guys. But that's what we're looking at. That's the thing. And obviously Arsenal on 61 points now, not 58 points. But yeah, 63, 62, and 61. All pretty much, tight little bunch at the top of the charts here, at the top of the table.
Mm-hmm. If I had to
And
choose out of the three, which fixtures do I want? It's either Luton or Brentford or Brighton or Sheffield United. I'd rather go with our fixtures. I think, yeah, Man City have got the worst fixtures there. And then Arsenal. Arsenal,
I
Brentford
don't
and
know.
Luton. Yeah.
That's better than ours, man. That's better than City.
Yeah, that's better
Right.
than City. So City's got the hardest ones there. I think we've got the
Mhm.
best ones because we've got Brighton. They're all home games, them three for us.
yeah, which is huge.
Surely.
Anfield will have to step up and really be the 12th man for all those games. And I mean for all those games. I'm talking about Sheffield United, Brighton, and City. Just as I think it was, who said it in the chat here? Someone just mentioned it about the fact that we could pick up. Oh, here it was. Angel said it. Says RJ, we have Sheffield at home. We could destroy them and level up the differences in goal differential. Right now, obviously, Arsenal is on one right now when it comes to scoring. They are definitely on one. So, they have. I think they have like I want to say like it's like almost like a 10-point difference or something, or it's something really, really.
Yeah, 10 on City. They've got a 10 better goal difference than City. I think on us it's 5.
5, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we like
it's a
a
point.
nice 1-1 draw, or something like that against at the Etihad or something like that, and then we pick up a nice little 5-0 victory at Sheffield or against Sheffield United. I mean, and all of a sudden we don't have to necessarily even worry about that. Obviously, win our games out, we win the league. Period. But
Simple.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
that goal differential is something that is it. You know what? Too okay. Let's move on to this real quick. I want to ask you this too. Then, speaking of goal differential, and I'd like to know the chat's opinion on this, and if you guys could in the chat either put head to head or put GD or H2H. Okay. What do you prefer as being the better tiebreaker? Goal differential or head to head? I know we deal with goal differential in the league. Some leagues don't. Some leagues go by head-to-head battles as being the tiebreaker. Which one for you is better and why? To the panel, at least in the chat, please just tell me which one you would vote for. Would you vote for goal differential? Would you vote for GD goal differential, or would you vote for head-to-head? And big up Rasta Crab. Big up Rasta Crab. Because I have a reason why I would go with one or the other, but I wanted to hear what you guys wanted to say.
Personally, for me, goal difference.
Goal differential? Okay.
Yeah. That's what clean sheets makes all the difference. You can sort of celebrate it. When you got a clean sheet and you won 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, you sort of celebrate them little clean sheets. So it makes the season more interesting. I think the head-on-head debate thing, I never really liked that. I think goal difference is old school. Okay. It's the best way. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I'd be the same. Well, look, it's goal difference, because that's always been the best way of doing it. It's
why is it why in your opinion is that the best way of doing it?
Because it's been proven to be the fairest way of doing it. Nobody has a problem with it. Basically, goal difference is the closest thing. They've tried all the different things, all the variants. Like, this is what I keep saying. They've perfected football, basically. They need to stop messing with it. They've got most of the rules right. They don't need to. The last thing they needed to get rid of was the back pass thing.
Exactly, Brian.
And that was it. It's a very simple sport. And the closest thing to points is goal difference, because it's done over the course of a season. It's not about, it's about how you perform. It's the closest thing to the next thing that shows how you performed over the course of a season, because it's, like JK said, it's clean sheets is taken into account. So it rewards your good defense. It rewards attack, and it judges all your different players. It's judged against all the other teams, and it's the fairest way of doing it because it's against every team. Whereas the head-to-head is that's fine if it
Is that right? Is that true?
basically if it comes in at the end where it's like you're still tied on goal difference
Hmm.
and it's between two teams, then head-to-head is fine because you're only then trying to separate those two teams.
Right.
So but goal difference is just it works best in a footballing sense because it's the closest thing to goal difference, and then it's like if you're tied on points, it goes to goal difference. You're tied on goal difference, then it can go to head-to-head because you're only trying to separate the two teams that are tied. Whereas the goal difference is
That's the best
it's
way.
more it's fair because it's spread over 38 games, and it's everybody gets to play the same thing. It's just it's fair. It's just the fairest way of doing it, and it's most accurate way of doing it. But I don't know. It works. So
yeah, I'm asking. I was asking that question because I know that there are leagues that do head-to-head. There are leagues that do obviously goal differential. I actually have been more leaning towards head-to-head competition primarily because I always saw it as like, okay, at the end of the year, if it is hypothetically a tie for the for first place or second place, whatever you're going for. Let's say it's a tie for
tie for first place. That's what it would have to be. It would have to be a tie for first place.
Yeah. Right. And because then it could be like, let's say you're trying to get in the top four. That's what I was saying. Like, maybe you have the same record and you're trying to get in the top four. But let's just say hypothetically it's tie for the title. And I just always thought of it as like, okay, well then it would almost be like the home and away fixture for like in a competition, in the sense of like, as in when we go to Champions League, it's, did you beat this team here? Did you beat this team here? And then that's how it's determined. Not if it came down to a tie or something, or somehow on the points, like as in, it's more of like you've gone through the entire season, but now it's like, okay, but out of the two teams, you've played the same amount of games, you've won your games, you've lost your games, this and that, but at least now we could just say, but you two head to head, who was the better team between you two? And then rather than this is all, and I'll land my point, rather than allowing for what like Arsenal's doing right now, which is like getting 5 or 6 goals, or even encouraging. It's almost like encouraging running up the score in essence,
exactly.
And that's one of those things where I'm just like, all right, I'd rather just see it as like, you beat this team, you lost to this team, that's it. But I can understand everyone's point. I mean, like, this is why.
One other thing. It's like with the goal difference, it's not just about. You see, the goal difference is used all the way down the league.
Mm-hmm.
It separates. Like if it happens to the teams that finish 9th and 10th,
mm-hmm.
it applies to them too. So you can't. You'd have to do a head-to-head between them two then, and so to separate if 14th and 15th, and then it goes down into relegation. So if the teams in the relegation zone are tied on points, it goes to goal difference.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just so it's applied. So you have to break up all those things into all the head-to-head battles then to see who went down. And so let's just say, okay, for instance, who would like this goal difference that's spread out over the season, right? And like you said, it sometimes encourages teams to score more goals. That's good. That's a good thing, right? But let's just say we lost the game against City for what everybody has since agreed was a travesty of a refereeing decision. And everybody says, oh, well, if that game was played again, or whatever, the referee would, but we lost that game, right? And everyone admitted afterwards, yeah, the ref made a mistake, like the Tottenham game. What if that's the reason we lost the head-to-head and we lost the title? See, it can be pinned onto an individual game or an individual error. So we'd all be losing our mind.
If it came down, be like because we got a tie, let's say, but because of a refereeing error that took away a goal, that ends up being the difference maker in our.
You could lose the title on a refereeing mistake. Right. If our head-to-head was because the referee made a mistake in a City match that gave them a win, they beat us on head-to-head because of that refereeing mistake, and then they win a title because of refereeing mistake.
Mhm.
No. That's why they don't do head-to-heads, because if something like that happened, people would go insane. They just spread it out over the season, and like I said,
I know, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I
but
get what
like
you're
I
saying.
said, it's not just for the top of the league. It separates everybody throughout the league.
Mhm.
So they'd have to be doing many little head-to-head playoffs, and everyone's like, no. Our top goal scorer was injured in that game, or that was an incorrect red card in that game that we lost. It'd never go through. It just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
It's a recipe for madness.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, and
the
that's why
Tottenham.
I would, if the top two got the same points and same goal difference, I'd have a final. Play it at Wembley, top two in the
That'd be
final,
cool.
winner
That
takes
would
it.
be so good.
That'd be
That
amazing.
would be brilliant, man.
Yeah.
Can you
That's the
imagine
best way.
Oh, that
Yeah,
would be just.
that'd be amazing. I have like
Oh,
almost like a playoff game or something along those lines.
just straight up final
Mhm.
head-to-head. Yeah, Wembley. You finish level on everything. You're going to play off, and I think that is the final potential outcome. There is a
Mhm.
I
list
think that's the
of,
best way. Yeah.
of what happens if we're tied on goal difference. If we played, say they went to head-to-heads and both games were 0-0, right? So I
Mhm.
think there has to be a contingency for what happens if tied on points, tied on goal difference, level in the head-to-head.
Two
There has
draws,
to be
yeah.
a contingency. Or else,
Mhm.
yeah, you know what they do actually? They would have done before. They draw a ball out of a hat.
Mhm.
They
Mm.
just pick. They put two balls in that, and they just pick it, and whoever got picked out was champion. That's happened before. That has happened.
That's
Can you
crazy.
imagine
That's
that?
crazy.
That
You
would
talk
be
about
The
madness.
crazy. That's
fume. Can
crazy.
you
Oh,
imagine the fume?
Yeah.
Rigged.
To
It was
nice.
rigged.
lose
It was rigged.
by that randomness would be
That'd be
Yeah,
horrible.
that
yeah.
would
That'd be
be
I
horrible.
mean, but the playoff that game. Now it would obviously be the world's worst game. It'd go straight to penalties because it'd just be the typical 0-0. No one wants to score or lose.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everyone would want to see that. Can you imagine the TV audience for that? Like 100 million
It'd
people
be
watch.
mental. It'd
That
be crazy
would be
money.
mental.
I think that is for me the best. I'm not a big fan of the head-to-head,
Mhm.
but I think if the points and goal difference are the same, have a final, and I think it would be nice. It'd be something new for the Premier League as well, and it will sort of
Okay.
bring a bit more show business to it, sort of feeling. The whole world will be watching that game.
Mhm. I hear what you guys are saying. I just think that it would make that much more importance. Obviously, the games are important, but it would make that much more importance of the games when you face head to head, and you could say, okay, head to head, you had two opportunities, the same way you do it in Champions League or Europa or all these other competitions that we do, where you do like a home and away. You determined who was the team, who was the better team.
Yeah,
But
they do it in
I hear
Europe.
what you're saying though when
They
you
do.
bring it all the way down the line with the
Yeah, it can't
relegations
work in a
and
league
everything
form.
else.
I understand you like it and
Mhm.
you think it's a good idea, and I understand what you're saying, but it
Mhm.
just wouldn't. It won't work if you
Yeah,
do
I
it
mean,
that way.
I understand you're not saying it doesn't work, but it
Yeah.
actually is
No, I mean it
applied
won't.
in
But it
other
works in the
leagues. In
champions.
other
In
leagues, it
other,
is
and they do it in other leagues. Yeah, they
right,
do, but they
right.
don't do it as the first. For like not in. Yeah. Anyway, but it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it can't because like I said, can you imagine if the head-to-head was a contentious game? It's
No,
like
I
you're
get you.
assuming
I
that
get
the
you.
two games, like it works in Champions League groups because it
Mhm.
is just they play each other twice, and all of that. But yeah,
But
I just
no,
think
I
there's
get
a
you.
reason why it's the preferred. Like I said, football they've kind of gone they've they've got it right. They tried playoffs or they tried head-to-head. It's not like they haven't tried that. They have tried it, doing it that way,
Mhm.
and clubs didn't like it. Clubs didn't want. They want to go there. They prefer go there. But yeah, I just think it's the most fair way of doing it because it's a league season. So any metric on it should be done over a 38 game season if possible before bringing it down to a head to head because it's not a cup competition. It's a league.
Well, you're
Yeah.
speaking of like of dodgy calls by referees determining leagues or determining games. I wanted to share with this. So we've had this quote unquote controversy. We went into the controversy about the Forest game, about how and I believe it was Realism Jared that brought it up, about how there was a play where I believe like there was a player down in the Forest box. Tierney gave the ball back to the goalkeeper, despite the fact that McAllister had control of the ball on the left-hand side. He gave a drop ball to Forest in the first half. Then in the second half, we had in the second half we had this. In the second half, we had a play by a player that is undoubtedly, looked at as being a pretty dodgy player, to say the least, as in a very, distinctively, some would even go as far as to say dirty player. But there was the drop ball that we got back. This is showing what actually happened in the play and the reason why. The reason why Konate went down with the head injury. I wish I could show the video as well, but the reason why, this is the still of it, is because the Forest player came in, cleats first, okay, stud showing into the head of Konate. How that's not reviewed as a red card or a dangerous foul is beyond me. I don't even understand like why like that's not being looked at as being the biggest portion of why what the referee and the VAR system missed in this play. They focus on, I've heard time and time again about the controversial decision, and how the fact that Paul Tierney actually, Tierney is going to be actually taken off of the next week game, and is going to be moved up to VAR. I don't understand how that necessarily is a penalty, or how is that even something of a penalty or some type of
you earn less.
Was that?
You earn less, basically.
Okay.
And you've been put in the naughty corner, because the problem with this 12th is that even when they want to give these guys a break, give these guys a week off, let's say, there's only so many actual refs that are qualified and in this pool that they have to just give them the job doing something else. They can't like say, look, you need to take 2 weeks off, because they need referees to do like either the worst that happens to them is they go down to the championship for a week. But yeah, they're back within a week because there's only about 15 or 20 guys.
That's pretty sad. I don't understand why they can't get a bigger pool of referees, or at least get a better pool.
It's a horrible job, and nobody wants to do it, and it takes a long time to qualify, basically, and most of them it doesn't pay very well until like you get to the very top, and even still, it's not.
Wait, like, how much money do you make? They make over 100,000. They make
I said until you get to the very top. I mean,
okay. I was gonna say, like,
if you're repping amateur
everyone,
games,
Brian is balling apparently.
if you're repping amateur games,
that's pennies. That's
League 1, League 2, Sunday League, all those, like, by the time until you get up to there, I mean, it's not a great job. No, and look at the way all the abuse they get and all that stuff. So, like, yeah, I mean, even in England, 100 grand a year. I mean, some of these guys up until recently, they all had second jobs. One of them famously has a record store in Manchester. That guy that everybody hates, but he actually has a really cool record store.
Okay.
But he did that for like 25 years. It was like the guy Howard Webb was a police officer. So yeah, it sounds great and all that, but to actually get to where they are, I mean, you read stories every week about being attacked by crazy parents at kids games. It's a very difficult career to get people to go into. So it's not really that much of a wonder why it's a bit of an old boys club and they're all shy, because it's not something most people actually want to do. Like I was bringing, my dad did it like when we were younger. It's like referees. If there's no ref, he used to go and he used to get a phone call saying, "Can you come up and ref a game somewhere because there's no ref, and then the game can't go ahead." Like there's 25 children here playing an organized game, but it can't be played because it's a league game without a ref. Those are the kind of people we're talking about. Like that's the backbone. That's the basis of football. But these guys that end up being professional refs, yeah, to actually get enough of them in. I mean, I say to people, go out and try it. It's not nice. So that's why there's so few of them. And that's why you end up with the same guys every 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. I just think that right there, that should put to rest. I just kept commenting, and I just kept going on about the fact that they kept saying controversial call, controversial call. A lot of these people are running with that, with the pundits' take. They're running with the fact of, like, obviously Tierney's been demoted in a sense, to bar duties, and the
But
sheer
VAR was
fact
supposed to
that,
stop all this, right?
huh?
Wasn't it? Wasn't VAR supposed to stop all this?
Right, right. But
Yeah.
that's the part and point of why, like, if there was such an issue about it, then it would be different. I know that I sent a clip to JK to send to Neville's brother-in-law, but but that's a joke. Um, but you know, the sheer fact that, one, this play, it was like a minute and 50 after that, there were so many different, like, different plays on the pitch that occurred from this. The sheer fact that Forrest did have the ability to clear the ball, and they did once, kicking the ball out of bounds. Again, like, the sheer fact that they were so angry about that's low budget. But even more so is low budget is the sheer fact that a lot of these Sky Sports and all these other different, like, big name networks, they don't or didn't show this as being something of, you want to talk about a missed call? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the fact that VAR didn't come back and look at this. That's concerning.
True.
That's concerning to me, is that VAR didn't go back and look at this. Obviously, when the player went down, they could have seen why the player went down in the box.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they did, because they review almost everything.
Yep.
And
But
they
we got a
saw
goal out
this
of it.
occur, and they still didn't call it. And then people have the audacity to get angry because the drop ball went to us in this case. That's pathetic, man. Absolutely pathetic. I mean, like, it's what is crazy about it is, like, I don't know what this game really started to teeter out of control. This was later on in the game. I don't even understand this right here. That's not a coach on the pitch there. That's a Nottingham Forest fan on the pitch.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll catch you guys later. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
All right, take it easy.
Okay, I'll catch you later, guys.
Okay, yeah, I got the link. I'll definitely put it in to make sure
Nice
that
one, bro.
people get it. Definitely.
Okay, peace.
Peace out.
That guy won't be going to any more.
He should be banned.
Games.
Yeah.
He probably. Yeah, that's usually what happens. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know why these idiots, like, they know what happens. They've seen, like, they all know people. Well, not know people, but they've seen it. Like, they know as soon as they do that, that's it. Like,
Yeah. I
someone
mean,
gets,
fortunately,
like,
there's a Forest fan in front of, in between Simicast and the fan, and even the referee. But the sheer fact that he got, like, as in, where is security? He's by the box. Like, how did he get to the box? How did he get that far onto the pitch?
well, yeah, these stewards, man. Have you seen some of these stewards?
Yes, I have.
Some of the stewards are like 15-year-old girls and stuff. Yeah, they're like, if something happens and all the stewards have to move towards one side, yeah, one idiot, like you're kind of asking people to control themselves and not need to be controlled.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we took the cages down, and that's why we took the barriers down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you'll always get this idiot. But yeah, like, some of these guys, I'm not sure what he did when he came on, but oftentimes, like, some of these guys, if they get anyway physical, it's like it's a lifetime ban. Like, you're never going to watch your hometown club again. And he doesn't look to be. He looks to me, maybe he could be as young as 20, early 20s, maybe 30 at most. Like, he has a lot of football left to watch. If he gets a lifetime ban from his club, well done, mate.
Well
Fair
done.
play
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah. I hope you got a good, television subscription. That's the only way you're going to be watching these games.
Yeah, because the police will have your name. Like, this like, that's the thing about this stuff. Is like,
You can go.
it's
You can go
wrong
to.
and all
You
that.
can go to jail too, depending.
And
Right?
as soon as you enter that pitch, you're screwed. You are.
Yeah.
You're like, your name goes into all those police databases for football fans, and like they used to do back in the day. It's not so bad now, thank God. But back in the day, before the England tournaments abroad, the Metropolitan Police and different police forces enacted laws to. These guys are on these lists, were forced to hand in their passports at police stations, so they couldn't travel abroad to cause trouble at English tournaments. Like, the English police don't F around when it comes to hooligans. They have strong laws going back, so
Yes,
they can
certainly.
ban this guy from
They should.
every
Which they
single
should.
pitch.
I mean, like,
Or
yeah.
he can be banned from every stadium in England. He can be banned.
That's what I would.
If he
That's what I
put a
would hope.
hand on a player.
Because of like a registry or something that these names
Oh,
go on.
completely. It's like an S offender registry. It's a football offender registry. If he laid like, that's what I was saying. I don't know what he did, but if he laid a hand on a player or got aggressive, then he's totally screwed.
Oh,
Like, he might
I'm
get.
sure he didn't come over. I'm sure he didn't say, "Excuse me, sir, can I have a moment of your time?" I'm sure that's probably not the case.
But you know what I mean? Just in terms of, like, even like when it came down to a criminal trial, did he actually touch a guy? It could come down, like, that could be an extra 5 years if he actually physically just put his hand on someone. If he was just shouting abuse, that could be 5 years. If he grabbed an opposition player, well, that's 10, that's 15, or that's a life ban.
Right.
But let's not even mention that, like, some of the stuff that the guys get just kicked out for. Like, it needs to get kind of. But thankfully, this is rare that you see this kind of stuff.
It is rare, but look, this is what I mean by there is an interesting bias that Sky Sports. I don't know whether they weigh the options of whether it's going to be headline news or whether it's even important to bring up for a headline. But Sky Sports didn't even mention the Forest fan. This is what Angel is saying. Sky Sports didn't even mention the Forest fan confronting the ref. If it was at Anfield and an LSC fan got on the pitch, it would be headline news. Couldn't agree with that more, man.
So it was the ref he was going for, was it?
Yeah, he was going for the ref.
Oh, okay, I get it. All right, yeah.
He's going for Tierney, and like you can see him like looking, and you can see the Forest fan trying to like de-escalate the problem.
That's why Tierney was hiding behind the two boys there. Then.
Yeah. I didn't realize him, Jared. I didn't see that video. I'll have to. Yeah, look, the Forest game was a very, very despicable game. I understand the Forest is in a part where they're scared about what they're going to find out is the verdict for their point deduction. I understand that they're fighting against not being relegated because obviously they've invested heavily in this team. They don't want to go back to the championship, albeit you do get parachute payments from the Premier League for a couple of years. I think it's 3 years, but all the same, it's slowly but surely less and less, and it's something that Forest does not have any plans on taking on, because once you get that taste of Premier League money, you don't want to go away from it. But realistically, this was a very, very ugly ordeal and a very ugly situation for us this weekend or this past weekend.
It's a bad apple moment. It's something, like I said, like we all love cup final. You win a cup final, you see loads of fans streaming onto the pitch, jumping out. That's great. We all love seeing that. That's brilliant. But this day and age, I suppose people you don't really have it as much. But back in the day,
I'm kind of iffy. I'm kind of iffy nowadays. Look, I've in America, there's things like we do like if it's a basketball game, let's say it's a college basketball game or something like that. This is March Madness. I know some people know that or don't. Some people might not know that. March Madness is when college basketball has a big tournament here in America, and a lot of times there'll be if you beat a higher seeded team, sometimes people will rush the court, or even myself, like for football games, American football games, that is, sometimes people will rush the field after like a big game. Maybe you beat like the potential national champion or something like that, or maybe it's propelled you into a bowl game for these are all college perspectives, but and albeit they are children, or not children, but kids, some mostly kids that are engaging in this conduct. But it can get scary when you see people really rush the pitch. You're worried about the security and safety of not only your own players, but especially the refs and the opposing team's players. And just recently, for instance, Duke, who's a very big basketball team here in college sports, one of their players in the game they got beat by another team in the division. They rushed the court. All the kids rushed the court, and the Duke player got injured by people rushing and rushing the court. You don't want to see any of that happen. The fan pitch invasions are scary when it happens. If you look at any of the old cup finals back in the day, sort of the 80s, sort of 70s, at the end, like the whole pitch would just be fans. Yeah.
Just the whole pitch would just be, and the players would run off, and nothing ever happened. No player was ever like, and I'm not talking about fan invasions because they're not happy. That's a different thing. I'm talking about like after a cup final, and and all the fans used to come onto the pitches. That used to be great because they're all there celebrating. There was never any trouble. I'm not talking about this kind of nonsense here at all.
Right.
But there was never like, see, like I'm old enough. I was actually watching that Monica Seles match, and whenever anything like this happens, people still bring up, "Oh, Monica Seles," But the idea is maybe that these guys are coming into the ground. You make sure that they don't have any weapons on them. But again, like one idiot, that's his problem. It's not everyone else. It's not. It's this guy's problem. But that kind of thing where you'll even still get it today when like the players go off. You might see a couple of hundred fans out on the pitch, but they always want to go and celebrate with players. Players leg it off. They like you see those old videos as well. There's some really good ones where the players are getting stripped by fans because they want their shorts and their t-shirt. It's funny. I know, like you'd never have today, never. But fans,
for instance, like it's great. I was going to say, just like you just said, a great, for instance, is, and this is a long time ago. This is going to no date some people. I didn't watch this personally, so don't think that I'm trying to reference some memory that I was able to take in personally, but I have seen the videos of it. When I want to say it was Pele's last game, I want to say, for the Cosmos, and he's getting like, the crowd just rushed the field. You can see Pele being like, hoisted up and surrounded, and everyone's just like in joyous celebration. You still kind of get a little scared, a little bit sometimes. What can happen? I mean, things can happen.
That's the American perspective as well, because you're like, and I understand it because your mind kind of goes to, bang bang stuff, right? It does. That just never even occurs over here. It's like, you might get a couple of dickheads get a bit too rowdy, but I understand in America when things go wrong, they can go wrong in a much bigger way at public events. But the security is there. But I think it's just
at that point though. If it's a fan invasion, different stuff. If it's like everyone's rushing, it's like you don't.
You know that one where they're lifting them up.
Yeah,
that one with Cosmo. There's also the one with Brazil as well, where like it's that iconic photo of Pele, and he's just like been floated on a sea of arms across.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's just all the fans coming in and lifting him up. Like you won't get those
beautiful
moments.
Right, it's a beautiful moment. Exactly. But there's like other people probably on the pitch that aren't exactly happy to be surrounded, maybe because they just lost, or maybe because
those guys, no.
But you know what I mean? Like that's the last thing you want is like, is that it's like, and again, this wasn't necessarily
it's just a different tone.
This is more of a like it makes me think about like even the Ron Artest thing, when players even go into the stands. It can go both ways, and it can
Yeah,
be
but if
very.
someone shows up at your club like tomorrow night, right,
Mhm,
and he's been at your club 20 times,
mhm,
come in, gone home, nae bother on him, right? Nae
mhm.
bother, no issues, nothing. And then night 26, he goes off on one. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Are you going to say to your bouncers, how was this guy allowed it? Like, well, he was here, he came 25 times. He was, he just, and then one day he comes along, he loses his mind and he acts, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't kick people out until you give them a reason or give you a reason to kick them out.
No, yeah. Let's be
Unfortunately,
honest. Let's be honest. Sometimes, in those cases, certain patrons get kicked out quicker than other patrons. Let's say that.
yeah, but if the guy comes in, he's got an unblemished record.
Hmm.
He has to break that record to get. Now you're barred for life, mate. You're never coming back in. But
Right.
the
No,
first night
I'm
you
not
play,
saying that this is necessarily my reasoning. I'm just saying sometimes I've seen it in the nightlife industry is that someone that comes and buys, Bud Lights at the bar, or someone that comes and buys like some of the bottles I have behind me, they get a little bit more leeway to have that mess up. That's what I'm trying to say.
if he was in a corporate box, yeah,
Yeah.
like this guy's jumped out. Yeah, he's not. Yeah, look,
It's
he's
almost
probably
like, it's like, for instance, the Salt Bay guy. I don't think he should be on. I don't even know how he got on the pitch, but obviously it's because of his popularity or his fandom, or not fandom, but his celebrity status that he got onto the pitch. But it's like that, or even like, for instance, and this is the last reference I'll go into, and then we'll go into the next topic. It's like, for instance, in here when the Eagles won, I'm an Eagles fan. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl, Kevin Hart. There's a lot of celebrities on the pitch. Kevin Hart got on the pitch, got on the field, right? Kevin Hart, in his mind, at that moment, thought he was a member of the Eagles and wanted to go up and like be a part of like the like lifting of the trophy and be a part of all those different things. And people are like, let's not get it twisted. Taylor Swift, amazing person, but you're not going to have Taylor Swift up there like, hoisting the trophy, the Lombardi trophy, and being like, hey, we did this. No.
Quick question: did you play? No, out of the locker room.
Hey,
I mean,
it's that simple for me.
It's
Yeah,
that simple. Did you play? No. See you at the after party.
exactly.
Yeah,
I got you. Yeah,
I
didn't know Nature Boy was a Swiftie, but there's Nature Boy standing up for his Taylor. I got you.
At least he didn't call it Tay Tay,
Tay. Swifties, I think they're called Swifties.
That's what they call them. Yeah, that's what they call them.
I wanted to show something. Speaking of, I guess there could be Nunez's out there or whatever fanboy reference you want to make for this. This wasn't necessarily a fanboy. This wasn't necessarily a fanboy moment for me. It was more so I really, really enjoyed this moment here. This is after Nunez scored the goal. I did just see that Brian dropped out for a second. I'm sure Brian will be back in. Tell me your guys' feelings about this as well. Yeah, you're there. I got you.
I have to bring Yari back.
I got you. I wanted to get you guys' feelings on this. I was watching, the inside. It's not the inside Anfield. I forget the name of the actual. You know how they show you like the inside look of the game for each game, whether it's away or home. And
they were showing
inside. Is it inside? Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. That thing where there's no commentary, it's just video.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that one. It's good. Yeah, there's nobody talking shite over.
Nobody talking. You hear the roar of the crowd. You can hear like some of the interactions of the players and such.
Yeah. You hear all the ambient sounds around it. That's what they like the cleats. You can hear them. When you're walking down the tunnel.
When they're walking out the tunnel.
You get the clink, 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 clink. If
Yeah.
someone had to pop on and to realize that that's what fans want to hear, is that
To get that feeling, that
but
essence.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, that they're there, because like
Yeah.
you say, the camera will be pointed at someone, and someone 2 feet behind the camera will say something, and it'll be like, "Hang on, what did he just say?" You
Right.
know, so and it'll be like, "Oh, was that Virgil saying something to Nunes?" You know,
Right.
and it's like it's really well done. I have to applaud whoever came up with that format. It's really clever.
I
Just let
I
the
need to
picture
find
speak
out.
for
I need to
themselves.
find the and if someone in the chat knows where or how, because I've looked up because there is a Pixel, Google Pixel has like this contract with Liverpool where they have like they use a Google Pixel phone and they kind of like show like the phone coverage. And the only reason why I'm bringing that up is because I do want to see. I know that it's out there. I believe that Dakota mentioned it, and it was like basically there at this moment here, I think it was either after or right before this moment, Virgil asked for the phone, and he took the Google Pixel phone and brought it out for the celebration, and was like videoing the celebration. And that's pretty cool, like a real a real selfie style concept with the phone, which is really dope. But this moment here, only reason why I'm bringing this up is because this was the moment after the goal where our captain stood with Nunez and he
There
pointed
you
to the
go.
traveling, the traveling away fans, he pointed to the Reds, and
Red
like
fucking up there.
all you could hear was Nunez, Nunez, Nunez. And like it was so overpowering to hear because on the internet forums, we frequently a little bit less than now, certainly, but early in this gentleman's career, for us, there was a lot of overwhelming sounds of like hate or lack of support or even belief in our number nine was more so the common tone, at least on the internet. I'm not saying part of the fans that go to the games. I'm not even saying that was I'm not even saying that was the. I'm not saying that all of the fans on the internet were doing that, because there are your Redbirds, your Red for Lives, some of the guys in the Red the Mighty Red Army here that gave it and everything else. But and I don't know if that was a fan, by the way, Angel. I don't think that was a fan that gave his phone. I think there's an actual person that holds a Google Pixel phone, because you can YouTube and it's like the Google Pixel thing or something like that. But all the same, back to my thought is that the tone and demeanor that was for the Darwin supporters was so warming to see, because he's right there. He pointed to the crowd for Darwin to hear that, to understand. Like, I'm sure he knows it, in some way or another, but he wanted to make sure at that moment of time, he was like, take this in. He's like pointing to the crowd and be like, do you hear that? That's for you. That's our fans. That's our Reds. Those are our people. I was so happy to see that. I was like happy because it was a captain moment. It was more so like a leadership moment of just saying, he saying, I want to make sure you get this chance to really bring in the celebration, especially for Virgil, who had just just had his own moment of glory, in that cup final. This was like one of those moments where he's like, that's for you. I don't know if you saw that part. Did you see that? Did you see that, Brian? Or and then and in the chat, please tell me if you saw that, because I that to me is the kind of moments that I really appreciate our fan base. Those moments when I really appreciate our team so much, when I see like just the love and appreciation for these guys that give their heart and soul for this badge. It brings like chills, somewhat, even almost close to tears, for football romantics like myself. But Brian, how are you feeling about it? And did you see this moment at all?
Yeah, my Coco, stop with it. My dog's getting involved here.
Yeah, I think your dog Coco was like, I felt that too.
Yeah,
12th man.
I'm just going to calm her down with some belly rubs. That's what she wants, belly rubs. I think that was a captain's moment for him, kind of saying, pointing to our fans because of what their fans were singing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and because he was pointing, because I remember him pulling him back and pointing. He was like, no, 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 up there, up there. So I think he was pointing to maybe even someone in particular.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because he was
Oh,
like,
so
no,
do you
no,
think
look,
you
look,
think it
look.
was more so he's pointing to the fans that were saying the
Well,
what Alexander said here about the he's a shit Andy Carroll,
even Klopp came out and said that. Even Klopp came out after and said, or was it Klopp or was it someone? I read somewhere
No,
today.
Klopp
Was it?
did. Klopp said he's the last
Yeah,
person last person you want to
yeah.
rile up is Darwin Nunez, basically.
Yeah, he's saying every time they've sung that song, he's he might not be completely right, but he's saying every time they've heard that song. But yeah, I think Virgil spotted someone. Maybe he might have been even pointing to a banner, a
Mm-hmm.
Nunez banner or something. But it was I remember that because he was like pointing up, and Darren was like, yeah, yeah, but he was like, no, 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 look, 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 and he was pointing at something in particular because it was there. Him kind of saying like, yeah, this is for you, but also there's the support. This has been like I've been saying he needed to. He's always needed a game or needed like he scored goals and all that, but he's needed a moment. He's needed a game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be it. That kind of late match winner might just be one of the things that kind of not settles him down. I'm not saying needs to be settled down, but yeah, I think and Virgil is there with him going, look, it was always there. The support was always there. It's coming together. It is, and all those people, the noisy, the people that like to make
Always
noise.
the internet.
You
Yeah,
know, that's
the
all kind of chilled out, drifted away a little bit
yeah.
because. But look, I think like Darwin's tall. Look how big Darwin Noon.
I know
Virgil.
how much Virgil
Also,
towers over him. I know. I
yeah,
know.
we look at Darwin. And go, he's a big guy, but like Virgil's got a good 4 or 5 inches on him there.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
So
Um,
no, Darwin is. He's starting to be kind of. He's not. He'll always have doubt. Every player will always
yeah,
have their
every
doubt.
team has doubters for all
Yeah,
players. Yeah, certainly.
but him, I think it's another 5 or 6 more goals this season, get him up to a really good tally, getting close to 20 maybe, get 20 in the
Yeah.
league, that'd be brilliant. And
Yeah.
then he's got a new manager coming in, man. A new manager coming in, then so
Yeah, we do.
who
Yeah,
knows
we do.
what's going to happen.
Cedric says Suarez called Nunez one of the best strikers in the world when interviewed. Wow, that's big up. That's a big up right there. Class act when it comes to our captain. Nolante says 100 on that. Yeah. What's pretty cool too. I didn't take a picture of this, but one thing I thought was pretty cool was at the end of the match. Does Harvey Elliott have a kid? By the way, does he have a child?
I don't know.
You don't know. I don't know if anyone in the chat knows that or not because I saw him with an actual. He had a kid in his arms at the moment when I saw this part of this.
Oh well, maybe yeah, maybe he does.
But or maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's his younger. Maybe it's a younger brother. Who knows? Maybe it's like a really younger brother. Nolante is saying no, he doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking a bit young to be having kids, but
I know, but you never know. Hey, you never know. You never know. But there was a cool moment when he was on the pitch. He had the kid in his arms and everything. Maybe it was someone else's kid, I guess, obviously. But he was rocking the Origi, the Divock Origi jersey. They had exchanged kits,
nice.
and very often, normally when you exchange kits, you don't as the actual player. You rarely put the other player's kit on.
No.
Usually you just
no, definitely not. No,
you exchange kits. You exchange kits and you just put it on your shoulder and you walk off, or you put you hold on to it and you say thank you or whatever and you walk off it, depending on who asked for the kit. But yeah, man,
normally it's seen as disrespectful, to put on the other. But yeah, Klopp's not. It's Origi, like it's Divock.
It's Divock though.
He's
Divock.
That's cool. Like that's fine. That's no problem at all. Klopp's like
exactly.
Don't worry
Exactly.
But I did
Exactly.
just check
Pretty
actually
sure. I
earlier
was gonna
on.
say, does anyone have a problem with that or anything like that?
No,
That because I
no.
mean, realistically, you're not supposed. I mean, it's kind of etiquette that you don't wear someone else's kit from another
Usually, yeah,
team.
yeah. Not
You
on the
know,
pitch. You take it in the dressing room afterwards, or
he was wearing
yeah,
it on the pitch, and he was rocking it even in the hallways and everything else. Obviously, Origi actually you saw was interacting with a lot of the players after the game. You know, a lot of love there still for the team and a lot of teammates, obviously. But yeah, man, it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. I give Harvey a pass since it was D-Box kid. You know, like
yeah.
if it was
And
someone else, maybe not.
I just checked it earlier on because we were talking. Sabazai is 6 months younger than Foden,
Okay,
so
okay.
I was thinking he might have been a tiny bit older. But yeah, keep forgetting how young Sabazai is. 23. He'll be
Yeah,
24 till
no,
October.
yeah. KJ says I would have worn Origi's kit too. Love seeing
Yeah,
Harvey in it. Definitely. I mean, it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. A little like the moments like that. I know people call me the football romantic. There's other football romantics out there. Big shout out to Pops out there too. But that kind of stuff makes the game beautiful to me. You know, like that's the romanticism that you need in the game sometimes. You know, to kind of like take away the hard edges and make it like something that makes you go, wow, that's special. No matter what level of the game you've played, or if you've never played the game at all, maybe that maybe gives you some type of introduction or warming introduction into the folds of it. I think at least.
which is what I'm saying about the fans earlier on. Like those iconic moments where you got a bunch of crazy happy fans on the pitch lifting
Yeah,
Pele up or lifting up like they did at Kenny Dalglish.
yeah.
You know, those iconic moments just come from the pure joy of it.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
just
sorry. I'm
yeah,
laughing. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because Cedric's comment is spot on. It says you do if it's Origi's special exception, but I was especially laughing too at KJ's is football
no, he's
without
brilliant.
Origi is nothing. I
I
remember.
thought
I
I thought
remember
you
that.
were laughing at KJ's previous comment where he's building his own little five-a-side team there. He's already got three and he's only 30 years old, so he's got a little, he's three quarter, he's doing well there.
I didn't see that. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Um.
had his close to 20.
Oh
He's only
wow,
30 now. He's
wow.
already
See,
got
yeah,
three.
I see that now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Blessed blessings to you and your family, KJ. Of
yeah.
course.
Bless your loins, KJ.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Yes. There you go.
yeah,
There you
he's
go.
definitely got a little five-a-side team coming along.
Hey, no, hey, that's what's up. That's definitely what's up. Um, he's got the next Liverpool midfield, maybe. You know. um, but yeah, big up, big up. I have a fun little thing. We're at the 90th. We're past a little past 90th minute. We're now into extra time. I had a fun little picture that I wanted to include here, and it's somewhat of a I guess you could call like a can you name who's in this picture, and it's a fun little picture to include. I'm gonna bring it up here. Can you name these four gentlemen in this picture? Can you name these four gentlemen in this picture? In one way or another, loosely more than the others, but in one way or another, they all play some form of football. Actually, you know what they do? They all play a form of football because the reason why that word soccer was called is because of in Great Britain was because of I might be giving it away, but was because of rugby and and they made it into rugby was considered football as well in Great Britain. But can you name from left to right? Can you name these individuals? And I'll give you a hint as well. I'll give you a hint. I'm actually the guy that is technically on on the furthest right of the picture. He would be happy with the shirt I'm wearing. So I'll say it like that. Can you name these four guys? Brian, can you name them?
No, I don't know who any of them are, apart from Klopp. I know who one of them is now because someone put it in the chat. Now, I'm not looking at the chat now.
Okay.
The guy on the left, as I'm looking at on the left, he looks vaguely familiar. The guy on the right, I have no idea who that is.
Okay.
The guy in the black top, holding, I don't know what he's holding. It's like a rugby type ball. I think someone put his name.
Yes, he is.
But
and I will give it to the chat, Nalante, and I believe did KJ just give it? KJ gave one of the answers, and Nalante gave another. He didn't put the name, but he gave.
Oh yeah, big up to Nalante, by the way. Big up to Nalante. Sorry for this.
Big up to Nalante each and every time, for sure. Lalana? No, it's not Lalana. Lalana's not the guy on the far right.
Like, is the guy in black? Is that Mahone? Someone said Mahone. Is that Mahone?
Yeah, I'll give you the answer. I was gonna give a little bit more time. Does the chat want to take one more stab at who? I think you've said the guy. Okay, so you've given the guy on the left. You've given the guy holding the rugby football. Or at least you gave who he is, not his name, but you gave who he is. We all know who Jurgen Klopp is. And could you name the fourth guy?
The brown hoodie guys. The brown hoodie people. I have no idea who they are.
Okay.
But the guy on the left does look vaguely familiar.
He should.
He might be is he a YouTuber?
No, he's not a YouTuber. I'll give the answer.
Is that Mahone then? And maybe the other guy isn't Mahone.
Yes. So the guy on the far left, in the hoodie that you're talking about, that's Patrick Mahomes. He's the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. They just won the Super Bowl here in America. He is an Adidas. He rocks Adidas, or he's Adidas sponsored athlete. The guy standing next to Patrick Mahomes and in between Jurgen Klopp is the South African rugby captain. His name is Sia Koliski. Yes, exactly. Nalante just got it. There you go. He's a legend in himself. Almost all these guys are almost into legendary status because he's the first black rugby captain to win the World Cup twice, actually. So he's a legend, absolute legend. And he's also one of the reasons why I showed this is because Patrick Mahomes and especially Sia are big, huge Liverpool Reds fans. They are huge Red supporters. They're like it's his boyhood club that he followed when it comes to Kolisi. He does support Liverpool. And that was the reason why I'm showing they're all technically Liverpool supporters. The guy on the right, that it could be questionable, but the guy on the right, and this was the throw in. This was like, if anyone got this, I would have given you mad kudo points.
Okay, wait. Can we get a clue? Can I get the sport? The sport. What sport is he in?
How about this? The guy that's standing far right.
Yeah.
I do not believe plays a sport.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I can't even guess that.
And the reason why I was saying, I kind of gave a hint by saying this. That is the CEO of Adidas. That's Bjorn.
Well. Right. Okay. Right.
That's who that is. Okay. So that's the CEO. That's the top guy at Adidas. And he got all these individuals. It's a really cool little, wide spectrum. It's like a cool little photo of, obviously Patrick Mahomes is a absolute incredible player, American football player, is definitely on the trajectory of being a legend, if not in some minds already is a legend, having won the Super Bowl multiple times. I just gave the stat on Sia winning being the first black rugby captain of South Africa to win the World Cup twice, which is an amazing accomplishment. And then obviously our legend Jurgen, and then it was
Jurgen all in blue.
Huh?
Jurgen all in blue.
I know. He needs to turn around and buy that little red jumper in the back.
Yeah, not a very Jurgen look there, but hey, look, that's cool. At least he's not,
Yep, Mahomes is a Liverpool fan. Yes, Mahomes is a Liverpool fan.
The guy from Adidas looks like he's wearing leather trousers.
I don't know if he is. I don't know if he is.
He's not, but he looks like it. It's just
he looks like it. But you never know. You know how Germany can get a little bit. They love their techno.
Just ask Jacob. Yeah, just ask Jacob. He goes out in Berlin every weekend. He'll tell you.
Yeah, definitely. But big up to the chat. Definitely knowing pretty much 3 out of 4 is not bad actually. 3 out of 4 is not
nobody
bad.
was getting Mr. Adidas anyway.
No one apparently is getting Mr. Adidas. Nope. But if there's anyone that could get all these guys in one room, it's Mr. Adidas.
Or Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
Or Jurgen Klopp.
I mean,
this is obviously some kind of Adidas event.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I'm sure that this was like
an
event. Yeah.
You see, it threw me because I didn't mean to look at the chat because I wanted to try and figure it out, but I knew I didn't know who any of them were.
Right.
But I saw out in the corner of my eye that I saw Mahomes.
And I assumed, I've heard that.
Yeah, but I assumed the guy in the black top holding, but I knew it was a rugby ball.
Right.
But I kind of just assumed that was Mahomes.
Right.
And I was like, but why is he holding a rugby ball?
He's actually holding a rugby ball and he's got a soccer ball too. You just can't see the soccer ball. The soccer ball is still in in the packaging
behind him. Yeah. I thought the guy on the left. I didn't realize that looks too young, so I thought he was like a YouTuber or something.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but the guy with the trophy, I just automatically kind of assumed was Mahomes. But he does look. He's the only one that's wearing they're all wearing like skinny to slightly kind of. But he's wearing cargo pants. He's like from the 90s. That's cool. Big baggy Adidas top, baggy jeans, our cargo pants, and all the other guys are like kind of, especially the old guy on the right, wearing the skinniest of jeans. Like, no. But I don't like those Adidas tops either. I don't like that color.
Oh, what? Because he's wearing that hoodie is an Adidas hoodie.
Yeah, Mahomes is wearing. I look like that. The one that the Abolio, is it Abelia? What's his name? Aliobo, the rugby guy.
Oh, Khaleesi.
That's so 90s. That's like when I was going to school in the 90s. That's what lads used. Like loads of people used to wear those big, baggy Adidas. Kind of across the Sia. Yeah, I was wondering why you were saying Sia because I was thinking that's the girl with the hair, right?
Oh no, I know you're talking about. Yeah, no, not her. Yeah, I got you. It's spelled Siya. His name is Siya, and his last name is Kolisi. Pretty cool. I thought it was cool. I'm only disappointed that I'm not on the other side of him, being like, "Hey, I'd rock the red, even though this is blue. I think this got blue in it. I would be rocking the red for sure."
Well, you gotta start getting hooked up with some Adidas events,
Absolutely.
Get some, bring some.
I don't even know if those Adidas. I don't even know if those have to be Adidas shoes. I would assume, but I don't even know if any of them are wearing Adidas shoes. I think Patrick Mahomes is, but I don't know if those are. I don't know if Jurgen's got Adidas shoes on.
They don't look like any kind of.
They look like Nikes.
Recognizably, they're that kind of like middle-aged dad hiking shoe on the other guy. I don't know what Klopp is wearing.
Yeah, I know. Sia's shoes are kind of like.
Yeah, I don't know what they are.
Yeah,
and the other guy, Mahomes, I don't know what they are, but they probably cost about $800 each.
Oh, I'm sure.
They look more like Nikes. on that guy. But
Yeah.
Those
are definitely indoor soccer shoes that the Adidas the Adidas is wearing. Oh, that's big up too, by the way, KJ. That's cool. That's really cool. Apparently, I guess so. KJ's brother is sponsored by Adidas.
Is he a sportsman? Cool. What does he do?
Yeah, what's your brother do, by the way? That's cool. I guess, you know, and you can, that guy on the right there, you can thank him for your brother's paycheck, I guess, you know, or at least one of his paychecks.
I'm more of a Puma guy myself. He's a baller. Oh, he's a footballer. Nice one. What country does he play? Is he playing?
Wasn't it like Adidas and Puma are both like they're the same family?
Yeah,
they're like brothers, but they ended up like creating two separate companies.
Yeah, Adi Dassler. Mm-hmm. That's actually the guy's name is Adi Dassler. That's Adi Dassler, and he kept that bit, and then his brother went off to form Puma.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer. Yeah, I've had some like one of mine.
I didn't know they hated each other. It's a shame they hated each other.
Yeah, and that's why they fell out, and he fucked off and formed his own thing. Like, you know, I was like, but I'm keeping. You know, he got the three stripes thing.
Mm-hmm. And he went with the
Swindon. He's at Swindon, football. But he was at Leicester.
He's a footballer.
Nice. He's at Swindon, but he was
That's
at
really
Leicester.
Cool. Wow, KJ, you gotta ask your brother sometime if he would like to, you know, grace us with, you know, with you know, an interview or like an improv, you know, like kind of just telling us about his experience and telling him about, you know, his what he's got going on. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm a Nike guy as well, but I only wear like 80s, like MD Run 80s style, like the Goonies type. I don't wear new. I don't wear any new stuff. I like the old, like the retro Nike, the stuff that looks like the 70s, 80s stuff. But same with Puma. But I don't like those flat bottomed. I don't like skater shoes. I don't like any flat bottom stuff. But Puma makes them beautiful, like the old vintage Pumas, classic Pumas. Oh man, they're good, especially in trainers. They're just so simple.
The Puma Kings are really a great shoe.
Yeah, no, like, no, that'd be cool, man. Yeah, get him to call in, man, even for half an hour. Follow him with a few questions.
Yeah, that'd be great, man.
You must have played with some proper footballers at Leicester, like
that's really dope. Big up to KJ, definitely. He says next time I'm around mom's house, and he's down for dinner, I'll get him to make an appearance. Spot on, man. Thank you. If it happens or it doesn't happen, either way, I appreciate you even making the effort, man. That's really cool.
Well, KJ, just one other question: is he a Liverpool fan?
Ooh. Do you guys hold the same team in high regard? That's the big question.
That's the other thing. We're going to find out now. He's a United fan.
Yeah. There's a great picture of in the Brentford game when Klopp and Tony you know, gave a hug at the end. It almost looked like
no.
Oh
no.
No. I just saw that.
Oh, hell.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh, well.
Dinner at your house must be very fun. Oh, okay. Your mom and Arsenal fans.
He must bring plenty of bottles to Sunday lunch.
Yeah. Say it ain't so. Red for Life says to you.
Oh well. Hey, look. At least we know now. Yeah.
At least we know he has a good brother.
You don't find out halfway through interviewing our talk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. There you go. Oh man, but great show today. Great show. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm gonna put in Frank Carlisle's got a show going on too right now. I'll put his link in the chat. Yeah, he FaceTimed him last night. He was watching the Arsenal game.
Well, they've got a lot to
Oh,
rub
he's
in.
like that too. He's like that. Oh, KJ, I feel for you, brother. I feel for you. I have
Well,
a
they're
younger
banging in
brother
the
and a
goals,
younger
man.
sister. I gave them my younger brother and younger sister aren't as into football as I am, but I told them the same. I'm like, it doesn't matter. You root for this team, or we're not brothers. We're not brother and sister. So it is what it is.
Well,
But it's
poor
all
KJ,
good.
he's got another brother who's a United fan.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
That is,
well, look,
oh wow.
KJ, as long as those
Three
three
shades
young
of
ones
red.
grow up Liverpool fans, as long as those three kids grow up Liverpool fans, then that's what matters. That balances it out.
Yes. It's all about the future.
That's a 3-2. That's a 3-2.
Exactly. It's all about the future. The kids are the future. That's what it is. That's what it is. but yeah, big up to those that got the got 3 out of 4, which is really, really cool. Big up to all those that joined us today. Thank you to JK that joined earlier. Thank you, Brian, as always, for being here. Thank you to Coco for showing the love as well.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's what's up. That's what's up. His whole KJ saying his whole house are Liverpool fans. So yeah, definitely represent, definitely. But yeah, maybe when if your brother does come on the show, we can use it as an intervention show, and really bring out the true nature of why Liverpool is a better side for him to go, the better shade of red basically to go with. I know for myself, I've already tried to reach out to some other people out there, some of my other friends that aren't Reds fans. They might be, a Spurs fan, or might be a Arsenal fan, and I'm saying, you need to come to the light. You need to come to the light. This is where it's at.
Leave them where they are. Leave them in the darkness. We don't need them.
Leave them in the darkness. I got you.
No, leave them in the darkness. If they didn't want to come to the light in the first place, leave them where they are. Man. If we don't need no turncoats, we don't need nobody deleting
Oh
any
yes,
profiles.
we don't need any Gooner Lees.
No,
We don't need any Gooner
exactly.
Lees / Liverpool
No,
Lees / back to Gooner Lees. None of that. None
yeah,
of that. But yes,
only true Reds. Only true Reds. That's all you need.
only true for sure. Definitely. All right. So, like I said earlier, thank you all for joining me today. We're going to land the plane here so you can depart and go on to your other destinations of your day, night, morning, whichever it is. But I do want to say big ups to all of you that joined, and big up to all of you that stuck through to the end, the entire ride, didn't drop a parachute at any point of the flight. And I wanted to say, most of all, hey, be sure to take care of yourselves out there. Continue to take care of your loved ones, especially in life. It's important because often we forget that life is so fragile and so precious. And, just as KJ said out there, the kids are the future. The truth is the kids are our future, so let's continue to help each other, help the younger generation, help our older generation, help each other, brothers, sisters, maybe unlike what Brian said, bring them into the light, make them a red, which is even better. But all the same, I would like to say thank you. And we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Guys, how about that? Sound cool? All right. Until tomorrow, peace.